Bonjour à tous et bienvenue dans cette vidéo. Bonjour et bienvenue à Learn French with Ovo. Good day to you all and welcome to this video. Aujourd'hui, je vais parler de 5 erreurs que font les apprenants de la langue française. So I'm going to speak about 5 errors that French learners make. You notice that when usually we start our French language journey, our minds are usually high, our spirit is high, the zeal to speak the language is there, but suddenly there is a decline. And this is because we make certain errors that affect our French learning progress. So I'm just going to highlight 5 of them. The first one is not having a plan, not being committed to learning. Many a times we start with the hope of speaking, but then daily activities of life or other factors get in the way. So our plan for learning gets disrupted, and then we have so many challenges and we're not able to learn the language. All right, so there is a solution to this. You're not alone. Many people face this challenge. All right, and then you just feel, oh, French is not for me, I don't have time, I don't want to continue learning. So the mistake is that we actually did not commit a particular time according to our own schedule, which should be okay for us to learn the language. So the first thing is that we need to have a time, a plan, a schedule that can be flexible, that works with you, that works with your schedule, so that you can be consistent in learning. Because consistency is key. You have to be consistent in learning. So you have to schedule a time that works for you. So if you're having a challenge of, oh, I'm getting to work, coming back, I don't have time, there should always be time. You have to make out time out of no time. Remember, the benefits of the French language is way too good to miss. Having said that, let me continue. Now, the second one is that you do not have the right tools and guides, right? So you can't just decide to pick the language from Google and start learning. Hardly would you be able to, learn the language effectively. You need the needed tools, which include textbooks, video recordings, and guides. If you have a coach, good and well. So you need a coach, you need tools, you need materials to learn this language effectively. So don't just go to Google and start, because you get when you come in contact with French in real life, you may get overwhelmed that, oh, this was not what I read, this is not what I read online, right? So don't just stick to apps. Applications are good tools, right? But don't just stick to apps and feel, oh, I'll be fine with my app. No, reach out, get guides, get textbooks, real textbooks. There's something we call méthode française. That is like the French way of teaching, the French methodology, the French way of learning the language. All right, so get that, and that would help you. That would go a very long way to help you in learning the language. So the first one, as I said earlier, is getting committed and being consistent in learning. The second is get guides and tools that will aid the learning process. Okay, so that brings us to the third point. The third point is not building, I'm looking at my book, not building a vocabulary bank. So as a learner, you have to build your vocabulary bank. So do you have a list of words that you study each day, or you come across each day you want to write in a piece of paper? No, I won't advise a piece of paper. Get a notepad for your vocabulary building. So the best way of building your vocabulary is by learning these vocabularies in context. Yes, in context. So for example, I want to say objects in the room. Objects in the room. I will start by listing them out: the bed, the fan, the air conditioner, the cupboard, the curtains, and so on and so forth. So you have to list this vocabulary, or list these words in their context, the adequate context. So if you're in the market, what are things you see in the market? If you're at the bank, what are the things or the words you see at the bank, right? If you're in the hospital, what are vocabulary in the hospital? So you have to get your vocabulary bank right, build your vocabulary, and when you do it in context, it's easier for you to remember those words, right? You use the words when you step into your room, oh, this is this, this is that, this is it, this is that. It's easier for you. So apart from just learning the words, you have to make sentences with them, simple sentences with them, and this will be fine. All right, so do not forget vocabulary building. It is so important, very, very important. So please build your vocabulary, because no matter how fluent you are in French, you would need your vocabulary when speaking. Okay, let's continue. The fourth one is, okay, fourth one I have here is not asking for help. You're learning with your application, you have a textbook, you're doing great, and then you get stuck. You should have a French speaker or someone who has the knowledge of French to ask and say, oh, sorry, please, I'm learning about le passé composé. How do I form the passé composé? Is it all verbs that use the verb être, or is it all verbs that use the verb avoir? So these are grammar topics that while learning on your own, you may find a bit difficult and tricky. And you know, French is a language that has a lot of exceptions. You may have, oh, exception to this, exception to that. So feel free to ask for help. Get on Facebook if you don't know anybody. If you don't want to contact me, I'm a very good assistant too. So if you don't want to, you can go on Facebook groups. You know, reach out to French speakers. Ask them, why is this? Why is this that? You know, converse with them. Ask them questions. They'll be willing to help you. All right. So ask for help. You've scheduled your time for studying. You're committed. You're consistent. You're using your tools, and you're doing that appropriately. So the next thing is to ask for help. You have to ask for help. Tell them, oh, really, I really need to know this, or could you, be my partner in speaking, or something like that. And that brings me to the fifth and final one, which is speaking. Speaking is the proof that you have learned the language, not the grammar, not how you write, but how you speak. If I claim to speak English, I should be able to prove that I speak English. So I'm going to speak with you in English. Si je dis que je parle la langue française, je dois parler la langue française. I should speak the French language. So that is the proof that I have learned the language. So do not neglect speaking. There are apps that could help you speak. You can even travel to a French country. Travel to Benin if you're in Nigeria. You can go to Cotonou. You can go to different. Practice the language. Show that you have learned the language. Practice speaking and keep on practicing. So even when you're done with your grammar, you know your grammar, speaking is a different ball game, right? So you have to really use the language, speak the language. So I don't want a situation whereby you have learned the language for a year and then you can't speak. All right. So you should be able to converse in the language. Reach out to people, as I said earlier. Get an accountability partner, and then someone who speaks French, of course, and then get it going. So using these 5 guides, you would have to regret your French language journey, and you won't make the mistake that many learners are making. All right. So I hope this video is helpful. I hope it was insightful, encouraging. Okay. So if it was, and you're confused about getting started, you can book a free consultation with me, okay, or leave a comment, or if you feel you have other guides you want to share, you can leave in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching. Merci beaucoup. Au revoir.